My goodness. All right, I got to cover up this profanity very carefully with my pencil here so that we can talk about this tweet in a few seconds. Achoo! Oh, for God's sake. So dumb. Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. Good morning. I'm Ethan Van Sciver, 25-year veteran of the comic book industry, illustrator of Dr. Jordan B. Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, creator of Cyberfrog Blood Honey, the biggest crowdfunded comic book of all time, and the world's most charming man. Look at this. So many of you sent this to me today, and yesterday, as a matter of fact. This keeps flooding my email box and all of my message boxes. I keep getting profanity sent to me, and this time it's from you guys and not Mark Wade. So at least I'm grateful for that. But yeah, a lot of people are concerned. A lot of comic skaters, a lot of fans are just kind of like, how did this happen? Is this real? My first guess would be no, it's not real. But it turns out that it is real. At least this was actually tweeted out through this account, DC Universe, at the DC Universe. Now, at the DC Universe is a relatively small Twitter account for a company like DC Comics. They don't have that many subscribers. Let me just look real quick. In terms of comics, see, look at this. Look how high-tech we are here. Followers, 82.3 thousand subscribers. That's not very many, honestly. Not for DC Comics at all. So it is a relatively small, Twitter account. And it is clearly being manned by someone or some people, some individuals. Now, what is the DC Universe? Well, it's their streaming service that they're trying to set up. It is, it's a one-of-a-kind digital experience, they say, created just for DC fans. So evidently, you're going to get access to all of the DC movies, videos, cartoons, everything like that, and you can subscribe. And then just, I don't know what are you gonna do? You're gonna watch Teen Titans Go? You could just turn on the TV. I don't really know what it's for. I'm not sure, but enjoy it. Do subscribe to it. I want you to. In spite of this nonsense. Now, I am partial to DC Comics. I worked there for 20 years of my life. 20 years, and I've had a good relationship with DC Comics in every one of those years. I enjoy them. I love their characters. I treasure that company and my time there. But I will say this year's been kind of a rocky one for them. There have been some confusing, kind of chaotic incidents that have happened that I have to say, from my experience there, don't make much sense to me. DC is usually kind of on the ball. They're on the button when it comes to things like this. Earlier this year, DC Comics made waves and made so many weirdo NPCs happy when it was announced through the garbage tier pop culture media that Batman's penis was going to make an appearance in the book, in the Black Label Batman title. It was going to be they didn't really explain what it was for a little while, and then they actually previewed the pages on Twitter, and sure enough, it was about 5 panels, 5 images of Batman walking through the Batcave naked in heavy shadow, and you could clearly see the outline of his Batawang. And I thought, well, that's progressive of DC. I didn't know DC would actually do something like that. It took me a while to decide how I felt about it, and I ended up kind of siding with the notion of, well, these are adult DC Comics, and the nudity wasn't sexual, it was just incidental. So maybe it's okay. It still makes me feel queasy, makes me feel a little bit uneasy, denuding Batman, actually showing his Batman hood. It's a little odd for me. It's a little weird that somebody would want to do that, let alone that DC would allow it to happen. Anyway, the books did come out. And then suddenly there was an incredible amount of backpedaling from DC Comics, and I don't know what caused this. There were claims that, we didn't know. This was something that we didn't understand was going to happen. This was an accident. This got through editorial by mistake. It couldn't possibly have. I mean, DC Comics would be aware of what was going on in the media. People were talking about this. So DC Comics evidently, thought this was okay, or someone in editorial thought it was okay. They thought they had the approval of, the DC Comics presidency. Warner Brothers at large. And somehow still this slipped through, and people kind of shrugged their shoulders about it, and there was a quick cleanup. From what I understand, and this is just rumor, but I have it on good authority, that the artist himself was told, hey, the original art, it can't exist as such. So clean it up, black out the penis part of all of these pages. Black it out, because artists like to sell their original art. So, look, DC Comics wasn't going to let original art of Batman's penis out there into the wild. They should take a closer look at Tumblr. In any case, this has been a confusing and strange year. I'm a part of Comicsgate. Well, at least I'm Comicsgate in my heart. As you might know, I've kind of announced that I don't think I'm really Comicsgate. I'm more of, I'm the guy who's trying to make comics that appeal to Comicsgate. So I don't know if that makes me Comicsgate or not. I guess it doesn't. In any case, as being associated with Comicsgate has led to all kinds of crazy abuse and harassment, and some of it from actual DC Comics professionals. In fact, a lot of it from DC Comics professionals. One of them, got a fellow named Robbie Rodriguez, sent me multiple photographs of his asshole. Excuse my language, but since we're at this stage of things right now, I feel permitted to speak freely. He did. He sent me photographs of his butt, of his anus. And, I think it says something like, hey, man, I'm a big fan. Okay, so that is harassment. That is ridiculous behavior from one professional to another. I don't even need to say that. It's ridiculous. DC Comics probably did discipline him, but I didn't hear anything about it. I don't know if he's still working there or not. Again, that was strike 2. This is especially weird. I don't know if I can call this strike 3 or not. Now, DC Comics is being quick to deny this, and incredibly, let's put that down and then put this up. Incredibly, the outlet that they seem to be using to deny it is Richard Johnston over at Bleeding Cool. And Richard Johnston, of course, is going to back this up. Now, why would he do this? First, let's read this article. Rich Johnston. President Donald Trump took to Twitter last night to weigh in on the ongoing vote in Arizona's midterm election, the latest tallies of which have Arizona's Kristen Sinema ahead of Martha McSally, Republican, by razor-thin margin. And seemingly without any justification, Trump decided to throw some doubt on the whole electoral process, alleging electoral corruption. Well, Democrats would never do that, would they? Democrats would never, ever throw any doubt on an election or the electoral process, nor would they allege electoral corruption. That's just beneath them. And here's Trump saying, just out in Arizona, signatures don't match. Electoral corruption. Call for a new election. We must protect our democracy. Okay, all right. The president has an interesting relationship with fiction, after all. No, I think that's you guys. So it felt oddly appropriate when the official Twitter account for the DC Universe Comics Movies TV streaming service tweeted out this eyebrow-raising response. It felt oddly appropriate to you? I'll bet it did. And here, of course, is that response. The only corruption comes from your administration, you dumb this is belligerent stupidity. It's typical of NPC, SJW culture within comics. And then we move on, which was certainly an interesting choice when it comes to social media promotion. So what happened? Was the intern given possession of the Twitter account? Was this the work of a disgruntled employee on the way out? Did someone want a dramatic way to get fired? No, and no. So far, you didn't hit on it yet. Nope, I understand through DC sources that this was a hack. Okay, I think they were referring to you. I think you misheard them. I think they said, you're a hack, Rich Johnston, and you misheard them. He says, might I suggest that the DC Universe and representatives of any other corporate Twitter accounts reading this article consider switching to a 2-stage authentication? Would Trump even use the service? We know how much Donald Trump likes Bane, but sadly, The Dark Knight Rises is just enough with the goofiness. All right, so, this is all lies. This is most definitely not true. I don't know what it is, why people, when they get called out on their social media tweeting, drunken, stoned tweeting, try to claim that they were hacked. It's practically a joke at this point. Most likely, what happened is that the individual, and I don't know, does this look more masculine or feminine to you? It's hard to say. We're dealing with social justice warriors. We're dealing with NPCs. I'm not sure if a man wrote this or a woman wrote this. They all sound the same to me when it comes to NPCs. But in any case, this is somebody who ran DC's Twitter account, the DC Universe's Twitter account, who no doubt was doing their job, monitoring the Twitter, and then was also checking out what Donald J. Trump had to say for some reason, and then forgot that they were on the official account. And they tweeted this out, this disgusting, stupid profanity, this disrespectful, obstinate, boneheaded, hateful crap on DC's account on accident. And this is most assuredly what happened. Because you see, why would somebody hack into DC's account in order to just post something that every single NPC posts freely under their own names even, and have been for a year and a half? It doesn't really make sense, and they would have much more fun, I am sure, if they did actually hack DC's account. Now, what does this mean? I mean, here's why Rich Johnston is explaining this away. Rich Johnston is a social justice warrior. Rich Johnston is a big part of the garbage tier Star Wars media. It's important to him, garbage tier pop culture media. Star Wars too, but in large part comics. He seems to mostly be focused on comic books. It is important to him that he protect the culture warriors within large companies like DC Comics. He is protecting this idiot who works for DC Comics, who is influencing DC Comics in some small way, and they're all influencing DC Comics in some small way when they work there. Whether it be chatter, office politics, peer pressure, they are all influencers once they are, kind of inside of that building. So he is protecting this person. He doesn't want this person who hates Trump to get fired. I am not positive that this person wasn't fired. DC Comics is very quiet about the way they do things. This person, who is anonymous, we don't know who they are, might have been shown the door, might have just been given a lecture, don't really know. The fact that this person is anonymous may have led to protecting their job. DC Comics will be very kind about that kind of a thing, I'm sure. But there is no doubt that this is a crazy, far left-wing weirdo who got super emotional, who had a whole lot of fifis, who just kind of exploded all over DC's Twitter account, and caused this sadness, and caused Dean Cain, former Superman from the TV show Lois and Clark in the 1990s, to say whoever this was disgraceful and they need to be fired. And I do agree. Rich Johnston will always cover for social justice warriors. He will always advocate for them. He will always cover their asses. He will use his platform on Bleeding Cool to do so, because Rich Johnston is, at long last, a hack, and always has been, always will be, thoroughly disingenuous, slimy snake. So I don't know. This is what the culture war is all about. This is what we're fighting. There are weirdos implanted deep within important stations within the comic book industry. It's clear as day, and it's important that voices stand up and make themselves heard. That's Comicsgate. Hey, want to follow me on Twitter? Okay, cool. I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. Talk to you there. Show your friends you support independent comics while showing the world who you back in the fight against the swarm with the brand new Cyberfrog t-shirt from Crypto Fashion and Comic Artist Pro Secret. Sizes come in small to 5XL, and take your choice of colors between navy blue, white, and black. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and order the Fandom Menace, Go Get Daddy's Belt, Tico, and Soilo t-shirts as well. Link is below in the description. You're going to look great. People love these shirts. They fit wonderfully. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video and want to become part of this community, subscribe to this channel by clicking the laughing man face logo right on your screen. Ring the bell for notifications as well. You'll never miss a live chat. And stay tuned, another video by Comic Artist Pro Secrets is coming right up.